So
Most was going through manually, watching it, editing the audio, leaving it. They was like engineers and whatnot.
basically, yo. So shout out to all y'all. If that used to be your job, shout out to you because
Shout
I
out
hate
to the
doing it.
engineers. We love y'all. We need y'all.
Facts. And to anybody I sit down with in the future, if y'all watch this,
Don't make his job hard.
don't make my job.
don't make his job
Be
hard.
a friend.
Oh, I can sing it now. Thank you for being a friend.
Man.
My success, it ain't random. Float on the scene like a phantom. You and I should be on one accord. Together one hell of a tandem. I done cut ties to take it this high. The top is my spot, no questioning why. Why?
About a video
Six
that we
bills
shot
like a champ, I just keep
last
finding
March.
wins cause I'm really
And he hit me, he said he's just finally editing it. And the video is me performing a song that's on the tape coming up. So him editing it now and sending it to me was great timing. It's promo. It's just extra content that I worked at. So it's not random, but it feels random.
So I think that goes to like God rewarding obedience. You know, like if you're supposed to, whatever that journey may be, if you're supposed to walk in a certain direction,
It shows that we on the right path.
yeah, because that's typically how it normally works.
Yeah.
You know, stuff just, it feels like, oh man, what a coincidence.
The success ain't random.
It's not.
You've been putting that work and it's just now paying off. Even if you forgot about it,
Yeah.
you did the work.
It's all gonna come back.
That's crazy.
It's all gonna
Again,
come back.
great podcast name.
Appreciate it. On that note,
Success ain't random.
Success Ain't Random. We back. Success Ain't Random, season 2. That's right, man. We got all the way here. We're at season 2, and I'm sitting here with a great, great friend of mine, super talented artist. I cannot wait for y'all to meet him. It's crazy to say the super talented artist part because just kind of being around to see like that from like just freestyling in a car or in the backyard or something.
Literally to where it's at now.
It's crazy.
It's a big transition. I never would have even thought that this is where my life would have ended up.
Yeah,
But I'm
man.
so glad it has.
Yeah. And I want you guys to meet him. It's your boy VNLJ, Success Ain't Random Podcast, season 2. I'm sitting here with my boy Rashad. But I'd like you to meet Damiere. Did I say it right?
Damiere.
Damiere. See, I'm thinking Louis.
Right? Hey, I'm saying when I go to France on tour, Damiere. 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 They gonna be loving it. I have a little French chick in my ear whispering. I'll be like, ooh.
That's fire, bro. I gotta say, I'm like, I've wanted to do this for a while since I started doing the pod.
Right.
I wanted to sit down with you for a minute, man, because we've talked off air.
Of course.
The many conversations that I've had with you, just kind of just regarding just general stuff,
Right.
and seeing like that growth, bro, it's crazy. Like I'm hella proud of you.
I appreciate
Bro,
that.
you know, it's real. It's real, man. Like I want to see all y'all win, man. That's it.
I
That's it.
just feel the same. Like the things that you've been doing with your family, with yourself, with your faith, what you trying to accomplish with this podcast, like the
man.
consistency shows. And I know it's never easy. Everybody has mental things, emotional things, physical things, familial things, and to keep consistently doing something while all of that is happening shows dedication, motivation, passion, and most importantly, love. Like you gotta love what you do to keep doing it. And I see
That's
that. I
huge.
feel that.
It's huge, yeah, man. So full disclaimer, I say this every chance I get. There's been so many moments where like I just wanted to quit. Because there's the amount of stuff that goes into it, all the little small meticulous things. And the other part that people don't tell you is once you start, and I think that's in anything, especially what you're doing with music. Once you start, it may look good to someone else, but to you, you're like, my timing was off on that. So now you want to go back and
bro, you don't know how often that happens. Well, I'm like, man, this is horrible. So I'm like, what? I thought it was good. I'm like, I could have said this crisper. I messed up this word. You'd be surprised how many people don't hear when you miss a whole line.
Yeah.
I've mumbled whole lines and people say, oh, I didn't catch that. It's the most crazy thing.
Well, there's that I think that goes toward more where music is at versus you. He said, keyword people, he said he mumbled whole lines and people didn't even.
I guess I was fitting in.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You falling right in line with what's going on.
I said, ninum, like, ninum, that's hard. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go with that.
But, okay. So, like you said, you got to love what you do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And this is a bit different because the project is just now coming out. And you've been at this for a minute.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to start from where this all began at. I kind of know. It's weird because I know, right? But I want to start from where this all began at. What made you say, okay, look, man, I'm gonna stop playing with this freestyling, and I want to really get into making this music. Like, take me there. Where does young Rashad fall in love with music to begin with?
So you know when it really happened?
What's up?
I was like 23-ish.
Okay.
It was around that time, and it was a lot of moving pieces in my life. Failed relationships, trying to start a new one, shifting jobs, trying to figure out what I am, who I am as a person and as a young man. You know, everybody go through their stuff in life, and that's just where I was at. Mm-hmm. So I started to look at the things around me and what I really wanted to do, what path I really wanted to take, and it just became super obvious. There's nothing that I ever put this much into. It's nothing I ever loved this much. There's nothing that ever lit me up like this does. And I've tried a bunch of stuff. I've played ball. I've played football. I really want to get into martial arts. That's still something I really want to get into. I just love that motion of the body.
Which one specifically?
I really want to hop into Muay Thai, but also there's something that I really want to do.
I'll tell you. Hey,
I want to try.
Yeah. That's a good one.
One every year, like just practice a different one, solid for a year. See where they blend and, you know, kind of like form my own little shit.
I can only speak to the Muay Thai thing. It's hard. The training for it is hard. But if you're looking for something to really push your discipline,
right?
At the moment, I can't. I'm not gonna say nothing else does, but I firmly will encourage on Muay Thai, like just because of my experience. And I haven't done it in a long time. Like I just haven't had the time to. But it was hard when I did it, and I'm not gonna lie. When I was done, I was like, yeah, I did it. I did it.
For real. Like, in there doing it, I'm like, this is amazing. It didn't even feel hard because I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah, that's the other piece too.
Just the act of being active. The only reason I stopped, my eczema on my foot had got crazy and I couldn't kick anymore because I was literally just bleeding afterwards.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was tough. But we all healed. Piggies came back. But
this man said his pinkies came back. Okay, so wait.
Back on track. It was the only thing that stuck. And I felt like if I was ever going to make a change, if I was ever going to really take myself serious, I had to give it a shot.
Okay.
And it's been up since then. It was a lot of confidence building. It was a lot of learning. It was a lot of repetition, meticulous effort. But I feel like it all paid off. I'm still growing, but I like where I'm at. So
that's interesting. All right. So like now I want to ask, like, what about it stuck out? Like I know you said like it was something that you kind of gravitated toward naturally, right. And you put a lot of work into it, but. Was there like a song that you heard that was like, yo, I can get into this? I think I could have spit better than that. Like, you ain't gonna say the artist if that's what it is.
No. See, the crazy part is, during that time, I didn't like a lot of the things that I was doing. I always felt like I was better than where I was performing at. because what made it grip for me was a feeling. When I freestyle and I felt like I became one with the beat, where I would just, it's literally just me and the beat doing a nice little tango, and the words would just fall in front of me like they was falling from the sky, and I just grab them and say that. That's how I felt in my head. And it's a vibe. I felt so at one with the beat. I wasn't worried about if people liked it. I wasn't worried about what I was saying. It was just the vibe and what I was feeling. And then I'd be done and people like, oh, you killed that. And I like that feeling. But it wasn't about that feeling. That was like a happy residual. You know what I'm saying?
So it wasn't about the accolades, but it was just about like fully being immersed in what you was doing and enjoying that.
Exactly. And you know, as a kid, you feeling, you vibing, you listen to a song and you feel at one with the song. I felt at one with what I was making.
Okay.
And in real time, I was naturally good at it. It felt like what I was supposed to be doing. And then I look back at the course of my life. I had always loved how rappers would talk and how they phrase things. And I started talking in that manner. Not even wanting to rap, but literally just thinking and talking in different ways and in bars and in verse. Literally.
Yo, so like, I gotta stop you with that. He's not lying. That's the part that's funny.
Not lying.
One of the things that used to stick out to me about you when I met you was, yo, Rashad's so cool. like if there's a definition of like cool, like the demeanor of cool, like it was you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even on some like, you was trying to be like popular, but it was just like, oh man, he's so chill about any old thing, like level-headed, like it was just wild. So to say that that's legit what you would do, like you would speak like rap and spit bars,
right?
It makes sense.
Like, and my whole thought process became that I would take everything and break it down to its smallest component, simplified. I had said something to a chick. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but words can paint 1,000,000 pictures.
Yeah. Dang. You told that to a girl?
Yeah.
And you saying that you had a relationship breakup at the time you got into music?
No, this was recent when I said that.
I'm like, yo, how you lose a girl like that, bro?
Your boy done came a long way from then. I'm a lot better with a lot of things. Anyway.
All right. Actually, you know what? I wanna stay on that. So, like you told me there was a lot of confidence building.
Yeah.
I feel like that, just from what I know, that's more than just the music side of things. There was a lot of confidence building in general. I know at the time, if I think back to the time that we spoke, like there was a moment in time when you was like trying to get your own spot. I remember whenever you had just got the new whip. Yeah. And I feel like all of that plays into now seeing you like perform in front of people at open mics and like on the cusp of like dropping this new project. I want to know, like, so you brought up the relationship, building into another one. Like, what was that feeling? Like what was the thing that kind of had you? It was somebody that you was talking to for like a long time, I would say.
What do you mean?
Like the person that the girl that you broke up, like y'all split, and then like, because at the time you said there was a lot of things going on.
It was a lot of things going on.
So I'm like, walk me through the process of that. The only one that you highlighted was the relationship point. But I want to know, like, what was the things that you can share, obviously.
Right.
That was going on that kind of had you say, okay, I got to make a pivot for the better. Because a lot of times, a lot of people don't make that pivot for the better.
Right.
And to see where you are now, obviously, it was like a great decision. So I want to know, like walk me through that. Like, what was going on at the time? If you can give a little bit more detail.
So, in all honesty, I didn't like what I was doing to myself, what was being done to me, and in turn what I was doing to others.
Okay.
I saw how my actions and the progression of events had turned me into a person that I didn't really recognize.
How so?
I became a little more bitter, a little more resentful, more doubtful of myself, way more critical, but in a negative way. Like, as a kid, I had my confidence issues. You know, everybody has some insecurities and all that, but I loved myself. I saw the potential. I saw the perks. I saw the greatness in what I did just naturally. And I loved and embraced that. I made myself happy. And somewhere along the lines in dealing with women, after I finally became more confident to do that in a more intimate fashion, I started relying on them for that happiness.
Ooh.
So I would give them happiness and they would give me happiness, and that's how I felt that exchange would work. Instead of me taking care of me, them taking care of them, and then we both maintain each other.
Man, wow.
I lost myself.
I've gone through the same thing, man. Yeah. I feel like that's something that a lot of us, as men in general, we go through.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. You're not alone, for sure. And I don't want to just stick it toward just men, because I mean, women go through it too.
We was talking to all y'all.
Yeah. The one thing that I can say to that is, you'll never find someone worth valuing when you are starting to put all of your value in other people.
Facts.
And we tend to fall victim to that, especially whenever it comes down to relationships, man. When you start dating somebody, or heck, before you even get the girlfriend, like when you start getting a lot of attention from girls, that becomes your value. That becomes like, yo, this is what designates what my price tag is, right?
Facts.
And a lot of times we get that misconstrued, man. And so it's like it's wild to hear you say it, but I completely understand. I went through the exact same thing, bro. What was that like eye opener for you to where you're like, okay, yeah, this is not how I need to be?
In all honesty, it was another chick. She came around and the feeling and the vibe was so pure, it really showed me that I wasn't being me. And it really showed me like, yo, you gotta change, because how you feel now with her, you haven't felt for years. And that's you. But that led into a different brand of issues in itself, because I'm attributing the feeling of being me to her when I'm me because I'm me, and she just brought it out of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go through that whole cycle of, again, finding myself. And not finding myself through her, but finding myself as me.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, who are you? Like, what would that be?
Same I've always been.
What is that?
That's it. It's the same I've always been. I feel like there's this quote that I really like. Mm-hmm. When a monk was asked if he can say what God is, he said he can't. All he can say is neti, 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 which is not this and not that. I can't say what I am, but I can say what I'm not. I leave that to other people. Not as in them defining me, but I'm not a big fan of labeling myself. Other people would do that if they make some sense. I might say, oh, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to say, yeah, I'm this kind of guy, I'm that kind of guy.
So I don't necessarily mean like type of guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm more so I'm thinking about like core value. So like for me, whenever I think about, when I think about like, who am I as a person? Yeah. It's like my actions or my thought process may differ based on who I'm interacting with, the circumstances, like all of those things, right? But there are core values that I have that are unshakable.
That baseline,
you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to go Disney with it, the core memories. But yeah, these are not changing, right? Yeah, so to say, I know for myself, I went through a period where I was focused so much on making someone happy, and fighting for something that I needed to let go. And there was so many opportunities that God showed me that I needed to let it go. Mm-hmm. Because I was just like you, like when I was away from this person, my true self would start to pierce out a little bit. But it had got to the point where I was so like, I guess you'd say, wrapped up into this, I don't want to say lesser version of myself, but more meek version of myself.
Right. Stuck in that doubt.
I was stuck in it. And it's like, even though like, yeah, I might have those moments where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm me again. They were fleeting, right? So like
flashes in the plan, little memories of flickers of what
like glitches in the matrix almost.
I'm me again.
You know what I'm saying? So like I wanna know, like when I ask you like, well, who are you? It's like, who are you? Who do you know yourself as? I don't care about the persona of what anybody else may see you as. I want to know like who you know yourself to be.
Free-spirited. Emotive. Like, I'm a bit dramatic. I have a little flair for the theatrics. It's fun. It is. What can I say? But
yo, he's admitting that someone's admitting that they're dramatic. That's funny.
Yeah, it's fun. I would say genuine. I like to be as honest as possible. It don't always work out that way, but I feel like honesty is one of those things that when you're really dealing with someone in an interpersonal fashion, there are certain things that they just gotta know 100%. And it's for them to decide if they want to continue from there. And I know that from not doing it and seeing how the situation turned out and back analyzing like, man, if I just told her the truth, this could have went a different way. Or if I had just told my homie the truth, that it went a different way. I've developed myself to not be afraid of vulnerability. It was a very tough road. It was a lot of hard times. It was a lot of ghosting people for a long time and then coming back because I know that I have to be vulnerable because that's what it deserves and that's what my feelings for them deserves. And I'm talking about romantic, platonic, familial, whatever, like, you my boy. If something happened and we have a disagreement and we don't talk to each other for months, eventually, probably honestly the whole time, but eventually I'm gonna come to it and I'm like, bro, look, we gotta talk about this because this, that, and the third. I'm gonna bring it to you. And I say months, but I've developed to the point where it's not gonna take that long.
You see, I'm still working my way through that.
It's tough, bro. It's so tough.
There's transparency. There's something. There's someone that I know that I need to reach out to.
Yeah.
And in the scenario, I don't feel I did anything wrong, but I was telling this to one of my friends yesterday. It's gotten to the point where I'm so focused on getting to the next level, whatever it is I'm doing. Those moments where like how can I put it? Those moments where if there's anything that comes into the vicinity that I feel that can like distract me from what I'm doing,
yeah,
and it's not for a positive reason, I address it with kindness, but I just don't indulge. I don't engage with it. Like it's like we're talking, we have a disagreement. It's like, okay, well, in that moment, I want to kind of like smooth things out. But if it does not work out, it's like, okay, well,
it'll happen eventually.
I'll get to it when it gets to it. And if that person's contacted me, like little comments here and there, and I'm real respectful, right? Like I've commented back, I talked back to them,
yeah.
But that issue was never addressed, and I know it's something that needs to be addressed if we're going to maintain that type of friendship.
Exactly.
That's a huge thing, bro. That's a lot. That's a huge mature thing, and it's crazy because I'm not even there yet. You're telling me all that.
Like I've experienced it. I'm talking about homies. Me and my close friend. I was at his crib and we was playing beer pong. Mm-hmm. And we like to talk trash to each other, but it went a little too far. You know, people being drunk.
Bruh.
And he was really ready with the rumble. And in my head, I'm like, I mean, we can rumble. I don't like how you talking to me. But it came to a point where I'm like, this my boy. This is crib. We can rumble, but I don't know how that's going to end afterwards. So I just leave. And then I hit him the next day and we have a very mature conversation. He's like, he took accountability for what he did. I took accountability for what I did. And we met in the middle like, yeah, bro, honestly, it didn't even have to be all that. You my boy and it's love.
You know, it's funny because that's a similar scenario to what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, yo, like we boys, we've been friends for like years, bro. Like,
exactly.
what's going on, right? Like our kids know each other. They're friends. Like it's like what's going on, and it just hasn't been spoken about.
Right.
But I think that speaks a lot to, like you said, it's good to be vulnerable. And that's one of the things that I like to tell people, like transparency is like the key to growth.
Yeah.
If you go in anything.
But it is so tough.
Oh yeah, bro. Like it's not happening.
It's so tough. I'm talking about Kobe shooting a step back jumper over 4 people. Tough.
No, that's not tough for him.
When you see it, it's tough. You like, oh my, he did that?
That's tough.
That's tough. It is that tough, bro. When you push through it, it's always rewarding.
So two things is, so just bringing it back, is that one of the contributors to the love for the music because you had an outlet to be super transparent before it bled off into the rest of your life?
Boy, you ask questions. This is why you got success is not random.
Hey man, look, I'm trying to get better on my journalism. You feel me?
Hey, that's a great question, my guy. I'm not gonna hold you because music is one of those mechanisms that really helped me through it. Because when things was going on and I wasn't being real with myself about how I felt, I would be vulnerable enough and real enough with the music. And I'd be like, oh, that is what I felt. I'll look at my lyrics and what I'm saying, and I'm like, dang, that makes a lot of sense why I was acting like this, why I was moving like that. This is literally what I was going through.
Yeah.
And I always seek to put as much honesty and vulnerability in my music. You know, sometimes I'm just rapping, I'm coming with the bars, but there are real songs where I'm saying real stuff that really happened. And all of those have been therapy. It's like literally sitting on this couch and talking to a psychiatrist. It is therapy.
Well, the psychiatrist is the pen.
Exactly.
Hey, if you want to use that as like an EP title.
You know what I'm saying?
But hey, look, I don't know. Just let me be in a skit. I've been asking people that. Just let me be in a skit.
You gonna get credit.
Oh,
What you
I
mean?
appreciate
if
that.
it's your idea, you get a piece. Stop playing with me. And we boys, you get a piece.
Hey man, I tell people I don't need much. Just let me be on a skit. I think that's cool.
Think about it. If it blow up, right? And let's say I'm not going to sign with a label and I own 100% of my masters. That joint blow up, it do units. I give you 5%. You got bread. 5% just for coming up with the title. That's a nice little side piece that you ain't got to do nothing for.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I've been telling people, like, if I contribute, just let me be in the skit or something. That way I could feel like I didn't just throw an idea out. Because, I mean, no, yo.
I did going to be in the skit. You get both.
Okay, yeah, we good. I can do that. Hey, look, you feel me? I can do that. Just random, completely off subject. But I grew up, of course, in that Cash Money Records days, and one of my favorite things was the Manny Fresh skits. It was the fun, because they would always be funny. This is Yoro Himi Yokoshima. Ziggy Biggy the Wiggler. Like I used to die laughing. For real.
Now I gotta see that joke.
Yo, it's hilarious. If I find it, I'm gonna play it. But I don't want to get out of this, man. The other thing I want to ask is...
Did I answer the other question?
Yeah.
Okay. Therapy.
With music being a sense of therapy for you, it's crazy because I think, like, talking to you now, like they just kind of us all, like, reconnecting and everything like that, I could sense the peace that's come from actually fully indulging in that whole, like, being transparent, just being open, and vulnerability. You said it was tough, and I wanted to highlight that. He's very correct. It's extremely tough to be transparent.
Extremely.
Like, and I mean full transparency. Forget about just like telling someone how you feel, but being okay with knowing that you're having thoughts that most people would label you as being a piece of crap for having those thoughts.
Facts. And forgiving yourself.
That's a huge thing.
Allowing yourself grace. That is very important. A lot of people out here forgiving other people for their wrongdoings and blah, 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 and how they treated them, but they not doing it for themselves.
Yeah, man. You're going to always be your worst, you're like the hardest on yourself and your worst critic. It's crazy. But the benefit of that is what you're experiencing now.
Right.
whereas you're completely 100% peaceful in who you are.
I wouldn't say 100, but we getting there.
Well, here's the thing. I say 100 because it's the step. So here's the thing about life, and
I can agree. I'm 100% headed in that direction. Like, that's the trajectory, no doubt.
Well, here's the thing. It never ends because we're constantly developing and growing.
Exactly.
So
it's a journey. It's
a journey, right? Yeah. So the 100% happens immediately when you make the decision to keep going down that path. After that, it's just being consistent and being intentional. A huge part of this podcast, me starting it, was I talked more than I actually executed. And I was honest. That's why the beginning I put that out there. I was like, hey y'all, I'm a talker. I'm a talker. Like, I will throw out 100 ideas and maybe like half of them might work and go out of the stratosphere. But I'm not going to try 5% of them. Whether it's being afraid of it, whether it's making up excuses about like having like the resources to do it, or just being plain lazy and not wanting to put it all to the work. Being afraid of failure, being afraid of success, like whatever it may be, I'm not going to do it.
They got it wrong about dogs.
What you talking about?
Procrastination is man's best friend. I promise you.
Facts, man. That's a huge thing. Just being accountable, right?
That comes with forgiving yourself. It all comes into that vulnerability. You gotta hold yourself accountable.
You have to.
That means after you forgive yourself for the wrongs that you've done to you, you have to hold yourself accountable and believe that you understand and have learned the lessons to not do it again.
Yeah. So
it's like a scientific process. It's steps.
Yeah, you got to break it down. I think it's like someone I heard one time. You got to work in reverse. Like if you know the goal that you want to get to, just go backwards in all of the steps that leads you to that goal.
Oh, like when
reverse engineering.
Exactly. Literally what I was about to say. When you find a spaceship, you want to build a spaceship. Break it down, put it back together.
Exactly. With that, I don't want to stay too long on this, but I want to definitely get this out. The process, it's twofold. So we agree that it's 100 when you are immediately 100% going in the right direction whenever you take that first step and you make it a point to promise to yourself to be consistent.
Fact.
Now with that, you have to be okay with not getting it right the first time around. You got to be okay with failing.
$1,000,000%.
You got to be okay with losing people in that process.
Facts.
So now, getting to where you are right now, I sense the peace. I will say, getting into the music game,
right?
You would be well prepared for what comes with that, being the person that you are right now. Earlier, I don't remember if we were rolling or not, but we spoke about how like, it's funny how all of this content is coming your way and a project is dropping. I'm gonna just tell y'all, this is like early. We're recording this fairly early. His project drops when? Like February 14th. February 14th.
February 14th. Forever Zen.
Forever Zen. I like that title.
Yeah. It's a lot of meaning behind it.
Oh man, we gotta get into that. But real quick, we're talking about how the content, like a lot of content is coming your direction, like past things that you've done, and it's all on the heels of, well, all like all right around the time that you're getting ready to drop this project.
Even this podcast.
Yeah, even this podcast, y'all. Like,
this moment right here.
I think that falls in alignment with just that being obedient and trusting the process.
And you said a very key word, alignment.
Yeah.
What I have been striving so hard for is being in alignment with who I am and what I'm supposed to do. We have similar but different views on God, but I cannot deny that there is a God. However you want to look at or understand that, God exists. And in that sense, there's a path that was put here for me. And throughout my life, I found myself on the path. and it felt like everything was right, and I felt myself off the path, and nothing could go right because I wasn't where I was supposed to be.
Do you feel like right now is that direct alignment moment?
You said it. When things fall into place, how can you not be in alignment?
Because a lot of times that happens to people, but it's about having the eyes to see it.
Of course.
You know, even
awareness
whenever we're
is key.
Yeah.
Awareness is so key.
Even when we are in a state of like we're in something that we're not supposed to be in. And that's why you hear a lot of people say like, oh, I got so many signs ahead of time that I wasn't supposed to be with this person.
Red flags.
Yeah, red flags. Red flags. Red flags for my Instagram folks. Mm-hmm. You see all the red flags, but at the same time, you choose to ignore them. So when I think about you being in alignment, it's saying that like not only are things coming into your life to show you that, but you truly recognize it. That's where that peace comes in. Like I'm telling y'all, like it's when you are doing whatever it is you're doing.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like, and regardless of what comes along with it, it feels like it's supposed to be there. It's a different level of acceptance. It's like even if things go wrong, you're like, I'm finding it hard to be upset about it.
Right. At that point, the things that go wrong just wasn't for you. That's the type of alignment and acceptance that should really be the goal. Where the things that go wrong, they just weren't supposed to. Because I was talking to my mans about this. Mm-hmm. I noticed that a lot of times when you put things off or something don't feel right and you don't do it and it go wrong, it is for your benefit. That is something you don't need clearing out so you can get what you do need.
Facts.
Because that's crazy.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good. You good.
I'm so close.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no, I want to get into the project. Because we could go on for a while just on this.
We had some long phone calls.
Yeah, you feel me? Like
we talk about everything.
But that is something that I wanted to really touch on when it comes to the pod and just people that I speak to is the psyche of a person chasing their dreams. You know, life isn't perfect for none of us. We all have our own BS that we deal with. It's just wrapped different.
Right. And that self-doubt be so real.
Yeah, self-doubt is
self-doubt is so real. We see so many people in our lives question our decisions and choices and actions, and a little bit of that sticks with us. And we start to question the things that we do. Even when we know it's right, we still go, but is it?
So like I'm gonna say this, and I got a question to ask you too. But I'm gonna say this real quick. I think those are the moments where that ego needs to come out. So like
ego does have a purpose.
Yeah. So
you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, people tell you humble yourself. That's a very popular phrase. Oh, humble yourself, humble yourself. Here's the thing about humbling yourself, and I gotta say this too. By all means, don't walk with arrogance.
Of course.
But definitely be assured in what you're doing. If you know you have the knowledge of what you're doing, you've put the time in, you've really worked on the craft, have confidence in what you're doing, right? Now this is why the ego part comes into play. Because those moments where that self-doubt starts to creep in because of somebody else maybe not feeling the song, or you might see somebody else and you may think that person's working harder than you, like all that stuff. I think at that moment, shout out to my boy Tracy. That's my barber. He's the one who keeps my beard crispy. I gotta see that man actually. So yeah, man.
Hey,
when you see, this is gonna be past tense. I was gonna say when I need it, but anyway,
the beard has been flourishing.
Man, bro, it's a part of me.
I'm trying, but you in full flourish,
man. A girl told me that this is an illustration of my power as a black man. I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? But nah, my boy Tracy would always say, man, you gotta pop your stuff, man. Cause if you don't do it, who else will?
Facts. It's okay to smell yourself sometimes.
Yeah, man, because it's gonna push you to continue to go forward. Now with that, with the title of the project being Forever's End.
Right.
Tell me the meaning of that. Cause in my head I have something, but I don't know.
First, what you got?
So just going on, just taking in all what we just talked about, I feel like, is it you, man, okay. Because I'm one of those like, what you call conspiracy nerds. So in my head, I'm like, he dropping this February 14th. That's Valentine's Day. So we talking about love, being in love with somebody for forever, or being intimate with someone for forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? We talking about full transparency with a person forever, or being in love with myself forever because I finally went through that stage of being in full acceptance of who I am as a person. Like, you see, like my head is like all over the place.
A bunch of different places.
Yeah.
You're not fully wrong. The idea behind Forever's End is two parts. So the first part is called Unrequited. And you can find that on SoundCloud. Okay. Under Damiere, Unrequited. And this one is darker. It's the feelings that come with having an unrequited love. It's a lot of doubt. It's a lot of hesitation. It's a lot of question. It's a lot of passion. It's a lot of lust. It's a lot of things that go into it. Sometimes you feel crazy, like, why do I love this person so much and they not really putting into me like I need? And you go through all of that and eventually you stuck in a cycle to where you feeding and you pouring into a cup that's not pouring into you. It's unrequited. Forever's End is the end of that cycle. And in any relationship, forever ends when one person can't see it anymore. It's done. Yeah. You only have forever when that loop, when that chain is intact, when both people see it, when both people are feeding it, it's infinite. But when one falls off, that's the end of your forever. But also, it's the end of a cycle. It's the breaking of a chain. The end of forever can be a positive thing. Depends on what you break.
So we talking about Forever's End, like E-N-D.
Yes, Forever's End.
See, and in my head, I'm thinking forever is end. Like forever's end.
Forever's end. It's the end of forever.
Dang.
So this whole next part is about breaking the cycle that I was in of toxicity, of unrequited love, of putting others before me so I can move on. It's about getting over something to move on.
Yo, I will say, I've heard a track from off of that project, and he heavy with the bars, y'all. Like I got, man.
You know what's really funny?
What's up?
That one ain't even on.
Don't say that.
Not even on. I got.
No, come on, bro.
That's coming later down the line.
Oh my God! Like, you see what I'm saying? This is why.
Later down the line.
This is why you can't. This is why you can't do stuff with the people that you're cool with, bro. Cause like
I got stuff coming.
Cause y'all, okay, so we've been sitting here. I've been here for a while now, just kind of setting up and everything. And he was playing some stuff for me, and even before that, he sent me a track, and I was telling him like, yo, I went back and I was listening to that again, and I'm like, yo, I know your bars was crazy, but the wordplay in this thing is nuts. Like, right. like for real. Like, I mean, y'all, I mean, I don't know if you can see it. Like, I've been smiling this whole time. Like, how fire this was. But it ain't even going on the project that we talking about.
But it's coming.
Like, oh, man.
It's coming. You got to give them something to look forward to, you know?
Well, I want to ask you this.
Right.
And I don't want to keep you for too long. If you had an opportunity to speak to who you were back then, whenever you were getting ready to start the process of becoming who you are now, not as the artist, but just Rashad, the man, what advice would you tell them?
Trust yourself. Because the way I see it, people think we have minds, we have intellect, but before all of that, we were emotion. We emote. We are born as feeling beings. we have intuitions. Your intuition knows things before you know it. You trust the feeling, you trust the vibe, and if you want to get religious or spiritual, your intuition comes from a higher part of you. And if this is God's temple, that part of you connects to God. Mm-hmm. That is divine guidance.
That's called discernment.
That intuition is divine guidance. When you trust it, it yields results. When I felt like I was in alignment, I was purely trusting my gut, my intuition. And whether it told me to leave or stay, I followed it. And I'd always look back like, glad I did that.
Yeah.
I would tell myself to trust it, because in all those moments where my gut was telling me, my mind would come in with that doubt that I developed and say, nah, bro, you probably don't have to do that. The girl I wanted, I have her, because I'm me. Simple as that. I was everything I needed for all of those moments. But I couldn't see it. Trust myself. And save money. I pissed off so much bread.
Man, that's a part of growing up, bro.
If I had a dedicated and diligent, meticulous saving regimen, life would be so crazy right now.
I imagine. I say the same thing, bro.
Save money, kids.
Save your money.
And adults. Everybody, really.
Save your bread.
Save your paper. Pay yourself. Why are you out here working for somebody else? And they paying your bread, but you not paying yourself for working for you.
That's hilarious.
Pay yourself. That's what saving is. That's paying yourself, not just buying stuff that you like, giving you money that you know you're going to have and need for a rainy day. Pay yourself.
I will say this, man. I remember was I a waiter at the time? I wasn't a waiter, but I didn't really have a lot of bills. And I definitely stumbled across Bitcoin. I thought it was something to do with a video game, bro.
Pretty much. That's what it's gonna turn into.
I swear I thought it was something to do with a video game.
See, your intuition wasn't wrong.
Well, but check it out though. Like, I can remember like hearing about it because there was some customizers that were taking payment in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I was like, Bitcoin? I don't play Call of Duty. I promise you, dog. Like, I thought it was something to do with that. And I never thought to look into it. And it's crazy. I'm talking about at the time when Bitcoin was like
2013, like infancy.
Like you could get a good bit for like 100. And I'm not gonna lie, I think about that now, like,
oh, that's the other thing. I always think like if I could set my mind into the past or go in a time machine real quick, like Doc Brown, and talk to myself, Morty, like actually go back and talk to myself, I'd be like, yo, invest in Bitcoin and forget about it. Or if I could time travel, I would literally go back, put some bread in Bitcoin, don't tell myself about it, and then come back to the future.
If you don't tell yourself about it, you might lose it.
If I don't tell myself about it, he can't do nothing with it. It's just
back in the day, there wasn't such thing as like crypto wallets like that. Like there were, but most of the people save stuff on like.
But if you think about the concept of time travel, I go and do that, and then I come back to the future. I still fresh with the information.
Yeah, but I mean, like you still have like all that time that then passed with yourself not knowing that you did this.
It doesn't matter if he knows. I know. I'm going from the past to the present. I have the knowledge. All that's going to happen is the money's going to sit there and accumulate.
Well, I mean, you
get what I'm saying?
I'm just thinking about where that was in its infancy. So, like, you didn't have like a Coinbase.
Not at all.
You feel what I'm saying?
But the concept that I'm thinking is, it's like saying you got it in a Bitcoin.
Where would you have sent it to is the question.
I'd have figured that out. I don't know.
That's my point. Like
we thinking too deep about it. It was a good idea. Time travel.
It was a great idea. But you see, here I am sitting here like, dang. Now see if I run across the time machine in the next 2 weeks, I need to have this fleshed out.
Or mamas, figure out what they was using back then, how you gonna store it. Because look, you had a Bitcoin value, and it's gonna be marked and identified as Bitcoin bought then. And throughout all of these years, Bitcoin has accrued. Let's say if you get Bitcoin when it was $10, it was 60,000 not too long ago, or pushing 60,000 not too long ago. People think it's gonna go to 100,000. You know how much money you make off of that?
I know. That's why I sit
If you
back
just
and
have
think
it
about
sitting there the whole time, that's what the time machine would be for. But that's what I would tell to my younger self. Those 3 things.
Save some bread, trust yourself.
Oh, and actually, I wouldn't tell them the last thing. Those are the 2 things I tell myself in the past.
Oh,
trust yourself, man. That's so important. That's so important.
Yeah, trust yourself. Trust
Who can you trust more than you? And if you fell out of trust with yourself, redevelop it.
No, well, you can't trust yourself. There's definitely a moment where you cannot trust yourself, and that's whenever you haven't done the proper work to where you're not like a detriment to yourself.
I mean,
see,
that's fair.
You speak. Well, I mean, you're right. You're very correct. Like what you've done is the work. I don't want anyone to miss that point. Do the work. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect.
No.
But it's okay. You're not God. You're not gonna be perfect, right? So you should strive for that perfection. You strive for it because at least if you're striving for it, you're intentionally trying to be great,
Right.
right? So it's like, okay, cool. At that point, you can trust yourself, and I honestly feel like through that process, you're gonna have people. You're gonna attract people to come around you, good and bad, but. If you, like you said, if you trust yourself, you have that discernment, you'll know which ones to allow to pour into you.
Facts.
Because here's the thing, too, and you said this earlier about pouring into somebody who wasn't really giving you any type of rhythm. Here's the thing with that. The only reason why you continue to pour into that person is because you weren't full yourself.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't be looking to pour into anyone if you have a fracture in that cup or if you're not full yourself.
Yeah, it's like pouring water into a thimble. You're going to have to keep doing it. And you're going to make a mess. Then you're going to have to clean it up.
He's going to keep on going with this. Y'all, look.
You should have just got a cup.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, but like I said, I don't want to keep it too long. We got to definitely do another one of these after the project drops. I want to go through it.
For sure. February 14th.
February 14th.
Forever's in.
Forever's in. I still say I like the Forever's in thing, but you know.
No, it's fine.
It's dope either way, dog.
Next time.
You feel me? You should do a double disc.
I was thinking of that because it is literally 2 parts. When I broke it down, it was 12 songs. And I know as a young, nobody know me artist in this day and age, nobody's paying attention to 12 songs from somebody they don't know. Broken in 2.
You know, I'm going to say this because by the time this comes out, the project is going to be out already. So my vote is do Forever's In, the first part, and then Forever's In, like Forever is in. Because now you found yourself. And you're not, and you. This is it. This is it. It's in to be. Yeah.
We should have had this conversation like a year ago.
Yo, all right, man. All right, G, look. It's all good. It's all good. Man, yo, Success Ain't Random Podcast. I appreciate you for letting me come through, bro. Like, for real.
I appreciate you for having me, man. I really enjoyed this, for real.
Nah, man, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this was cool. Regardless, you know, one of the things that is important is our mental health. You know what I'm saying? Outside of just like mental health, but just us being okay. Being okay with being you, right? And that growth. And it's cool because I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, I saw the change, but I didn't know what took place for the change to occur. And like to sit here and to hear you talk about it, it's like, yeah, bro. I mean, keep it real with me, bro. You actually helped me in something that I'm dealing with personally, like a couple of things.
Yeah.
Just sitting here. So I got some phone calls to make when we wrap up. But
I might have one too. Pride is a mofo.
Man, you feel me?
See how I did that?
Yeah, I like that. Hey, you feel me? Hey, bro. Call back. It's not too much work. But yo, Success Ain't Random Podcast. We on season 2. Man, bro, I thank y'all. I thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank y'all for checking out all of the episodes. And this is what this for, man. Like, wanting to get, I genuinely want everyone to get something out of these conversations. Growth in some type of way. My man's over here, he's being extremely transparent. His phone done rang like 3 times. And I wanted to tell you while I was on camera, bro, you can't answer phone, it's fine, I'm not even tripping. Like, because this is real life. This is real life, this is really what's going on or whatever. But I appreciate the professionalism.
Facts.
I really do.
Facts.
But that's it. I want everybody to get something from this. Like, whatever advice you hear from anyone that's on this platform, and you feel that you can apply it to your life, definitely take it, try it out, apply it, give it some time. It's not gonna be instant, but give it some time. And I promise you, I can only speak from experience, I promise you, you're gonna love the place that you're gonna be at after you give it that time. You know what I'm saying? But yo, let them know where they can find you at, you know what I'm saying? Plug yourself, you feel me?
You already know. It's Damiere. You can find me on Instagram and really anything at your favorite name. YA favorite.
You might want to spell that. I'm gonna bleep that out too.
NIGGA. If you don't know how to spell favorite, I mean, ask Google. Oh my God. I don't got time for that.
This is gonna be interesting to figure out how I'm gonna edit that. But it's cool. That's that man, that's his name. Well,
hey, my tape gonna be up on everything February 14th, as well as the first installment and a little mixtape, little 3-track, something that I dropped called Timeout Tunes. I'm gonna have them all up on platforms, as well as SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. We there.
Be there. It's your boy V9J. Success ain't random, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me again. You feel me? And you know what I always say. Be blessed. Don't stress. You already know the rest. And we out.
Peace. Felt like somebody had to say that.
Hey, that's the rap. That's it. That's it.
Easy.
My guy, yes.
I'm glad you had me on. That was fun,
bro.
Man.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, because, hey, look, you gotta,
I really did.
You gotta get ready for stuff like this.
We reap what we sowing. To be peaceful, you gotta know violence. Keep it low, please don't cause a commotion. My response to the alleviating ruins, and really not sure that's your type of promotion. We up early on road, rolling. Hog the lane in our bar, we ain't bowling. In 16, I hopped off in the Ford. Headed to Texas, not sure where I'm going. I'm the coldest on earth, bring the wind just to out them LaFaz. They see my devotion.